guys, welcome back to my channel, There's Always Room For. My name is Kim and today I am finally bringing you into my kitchen. This is where I spend most of my time, it's where my heart and soul lies. Baking is the reason why I wanted to start this channel initially. I thought long and hard about the very first recipe that I would share with you guys, and this recipe for chocolate chip cookies is near and dear to my heart. It is the very first American baking recipe that I ever learned, and it hails from my hometown of Deptford, New Jersey. It was taught to me by my home economics teacher. Her name is Mrs. Wood. She also happens to be the same person that taught me how to sew using a sewing machine. So I just want to take a moment and say thank you to all the teachers out there. You really do make an impact on your students' lives. This is the perfect base cookie recipe to keep in your back pocket, even if you don't like chocolate chips. You can swap the chocolate chips out for pretty much anything. Chopped nuts, caramel bits, dried fruit, cereal, candy bars, the sky's the limit. If you stick around to the end of this video, I will share a special trick on how to store your cookie dough if you happen to have any left over. I am so excited to share this recipe with you. Let's get started.
For equipment, you will need 2 mixing bowls, a spatula, a rubber scraper, a cookie scoop or 2 teaspoons, an electric mixer, and a whisk. While I typically like to use a scale to measure out my ingredients when baking, for these cookies I like to use traditional measuring cups. For ingredients, you will need 1 1/4 cup all-purpose flour, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of salt, 1 stick of salted butter, half of that melted and the other half at room temp, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1 egg, and a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You'll also need some flaky sea salt for topping, which is optional, but not really. First, mix your flour, baking soda, and salt together. In a separate bowl, combine your brown sugar and white sugar. I like to break up the brown sugar so that there are no clumps of it in my cookie dough. Add your butter, and here you can use an electric mixer or a wooden spoon, and then add your melted butter. Once the sugar and butter are combined, add your egg and vanilla extract. I like to scrape the bottom of the bowl to make sure everything is combined. Now add your dry ingredients to your wet ingredients. I like to fold the mixture first before using the electric mixer so that the flour doesn't go flying all over the place. Mix until combined, being sure to scrape the bottom. And add your chocolate chips. Give it a quick mix, and your cookie dough is done. You can use 2 teaspoons to scoop the cookie dough out like this. Or you can use your hands, rolling the dough into a ball. If you have a cookie scoop, it's great to use because it ensures that you're using the same amount of cookie dough for each cookie. You can bake the cookies right after scooping them like this, but I find that after mixing the dough and scooping them, there's a lot of air that gets incorporated into the dough. So I like to roll the dough into balls to compress it. Here is an example of what the cookies will look like if you do not roll the cookie dough. They come out a little cakey. So I like to roll the dough into balls. And then I like to flatten the center so that they bake evenly. Here's where you can add extra chocolate chips or toppings if you see that each cookie needs a little bit more. And finally, this is my favorite part. I like to add flaky sea salt to the tops of the cookie for a little bit of flavor contrast. Bake the cookies at 375 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. I like to take the cookies out when the centers still look a little bit raw. Keep in mind that the cookies are really hot, so they continue to bake. The pan that they're on is also hot, so you want to make sure to take the cookies off of the hot pan so that you're not baking the cookies any further. I like to put them on a cooling rack. And if you don't have a cooling rack, a plate works just fine. If you have some cookie dough left over, or if you're making a batch of dough ahead of time, this is my favorite way to store it. Line a surface with plastic wrap. Place your dough on top of the plastic wrap. And use your rubber scraper to form it into a rectangle. Use a butter knife, a spatula, or a bench scraper for the next step. Cut across into the dough, dividing it into even quarters, and then split those quarters into fourths as well. Wrap with plastic wrap, and keep in the fridge for up to 2 weeks or in the freezer for up to 3 months. The dough is ready to be baked right from the fridge, or if frozen, thaw overnight and then bake as usual.
So now you know how to make my favorite chocolate chip cookies, which I like to enjoy warm with a cold glass of milk. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I had a blast having you in the kitchen with me for the very first time, and I'm so glad that I finally got to remind you that there is always room for dessert. My name is Kim. I will see you guys next time. Bye! That sea salt on top was so good. I'd also like to say, let's bring back home economics. Why did they ever stop teaching this class?